What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing good. Welcome back to another video, probably the last video with my M4. But before we start this video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for everything. The feedback, the response to the last two uploads, moving from climbing content to car content was a scary thing. The response to the long-term review of the M4 I did was amazing, and it's got over 100,000 views, dude. 100,000 views. And that video is the reason why I'm making this video. A lot of comments on that video were saying, James, give us an in-depth look, every single mod you've done to your M4, and this could be for people that just like the car, this could be for people that are thinking of buying an M3 or an M4 and just want to see every single mod, pretty much every single mod that you can do for these cars. So that is what we're going to do today. Right, here we are. Let's start with the exterior of the car. When you compare my M4 to a standard M4, you will notice a difference. Hopefully you will notice a difference. This car, with a few bits and bobs, way more aggressive, way more presence on the road, just looks better. Just looks way better. To the point now where, like, if I see a standard M3, M4, I'm a bit like, it just needs bits. It needs bits done to it. I have completely covered the car in carbon fiber, completely. Let's start at the back of the car. We've got a fat diffuser on the back now, 3-piece diffuser, carbon fiber. I love the way the diffuser changes the back of this car. Makes it look way more fat, way more aggressive, way more powerful. We've got a proper mean looking spoiler on the back. Bit bigger, sits up a bit higher than the standard M Performance one. Another thing I've done to the back of the car, which you probably won't know about or won't be able to tell unless you really pay attention. The standard M4s come with like little red reflectors on the rear bumper, and I've had them fully covered up and resprayed so you can't see them anymore. It's a very kind of subtle and weird perfectionist mod to do, but I'm so glad I've done it. And unless your car is red, the same color as the reflectors, they look so stupid, man. I don't know why they're on there. They don't look good. So I got rid of them. As we move to the side of the car, we've got carbon fiber side skirts. Again, they make the car look lower, wider, fatter, and I love the way they kind of seamlessly transition from the rear diffuser through down the side of the car. It looks proper nice. I've replaced the little side vent blade things with carbon fiber ones. Standard, they're silver, they don't look good. Get black ones at least, or if you can get carbon fiber ones, get carbon fiber ones. They look sweet. They're very little kind of tiny subtle mod, but it looks good. I've recently added carbon fiber mirrors. I love these things. The mirrors on the M3, M4s are probably one of most people's favorite kind of things with this whole like floating kind of nipple kind of jobby going on. Just makes the mirrors look even better when you add some carbon to them. While we're at the side of the car, let's talk about the wheels. Obviously, big change. We've got 20-inch Vorsteiner VFF 102s. They are amazing looking wheels. They are an inch bigger than the standard wheels and a half an inch wider on the front and the back, which means you can get wider tires, which is what you need in a rear-wheel drive car with this much power, because traction is always an issue. And while we're on the topic of traction, let's talk about the tires. This car came with Pirelli P0s. Not good. If you've got a rear-wheel drive car, don't get P0s. Just don't do it. I swapped to Michelin Pilot Super Sports. Insane, night and day difference. I went from having zero traction to full traction. The car is obviously lower than standard. That is because we are running H&R Super Sport springs. That drops the car by 1.5 inches on the front and about 1 inch on the back. I think the overall look of this car now with the bigger wheels and the lowering springs, I think it's perfect. I think the way the wheels sit in the arch is perfect. It's low and it's not so good on these UK roads, but it's bearable. I like it. I'm gonna deal with it. Moving to the front of the car, we've obviously got blacked out kidney grills. If you're running an M3 or an M4, any M car with still the silver chromy disgusting front grille, sort your life out. Get some black ones. And then the newest mod that I've done to this car, which is my favorite mod, I friggin' love this. I've got a front lip on the car finally. This is the Vorsteiner style front lip. I'd seen the Vorsteiner M4 online before and I saw the front lip and I was like, that is the one. That is the one I want. But I also knew that it would get absolutely destroyed just because of how low the car is, how bad these roads are. I knew it was going to get chewed up and I couldn't justify paying like, I don't know, $2,500 for a front lip from Vorsteiner. So I just bought a cheap like Chinese copy for like a few £100 and it's perfect. The fit and finish probably isn't as good as what you'd get from Vorsteiner, but it's more than enough. And to be honest, like it hits things all the time, all day, every day. It's like I can deal with it when it's £300, but when it's like two and a half grand, nah. Overall, I'm happy with the way this car looks now. I think it looks perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to create with this car, and I've done it. I've ticked all the boxes. It's done. That is all the external mods covered. Now let's talk about all the things I've done to the interior of this car. But before that, I want to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering things like photography, cinematography, all the way to things like how to start your own business. If you want to learn how to take nice pictures, if you want to learn how to get nice cinematic footage, or if you just want to learn something new, Skillshare is the place for you. That was so cheesy. One of my favorite classes was this one from Ryan Booth, where he talks about how to make your video look more like a movie. You can get access to all of that and over 25,000 more classes for less than $10 a month. But Skillshare have kindly given me a 2-month free trial to pass on to you guys at the link in the description. I want to say a massive thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. You will probably know a lot of YouTubers are having a hard time recently with monetization, so it's amazing to have a company like Skillshare to work with. Let's get back in the car. Let's start with the thing that most people notice first when they get in this car, the Aeron gauge. This thing replaces the driver side air vent, shows you everything you could ever want to know about your car: temperatures, boost pressures, torque figures, power, like everything you could ever wish for. But the main thing I got it for is the valve control. It lets you open and close the valves in the exhaust system with one press of this button on the steering wheel. I love that. The car can go super quiet if you close the valves, open the valves, hell breaks loose. Bit of a nerdy mod, let's be honest, but if you're like me and you love your cars, you'll probably love that thing as well. Let's talk about carbon fiber on the interior of this car. There isn't actually much you can get for the inside of these cars, but we have got carbon fiber door handle cover situations. I think behind these is like just brushed aluminium, just like the handle is. Doesn't look good, looks cheap, looks tacky. We have got carbon fiber around the gear selector, around the side of it, on the gear knob. Another nice little change, just because that standard is again brushed aluminium, doesn't look good at all. We have the carbon fiber M Performance steering wheel trim. Love it. We got these cool little carbon fiber bits that go around the buttons on the steering wheel, and that's literally all of the carbon fiber kind of extra bits that I've added to the inside of the car. There isn't a huge amount you can get. Like I said before, you can get cool bits for the door handles, you can get a bit for the handbrake. Other than that, that's it really. I've added these massive black aluminium paddles. The stock paddles are so small and plastic and cheap feeling. These are nice metal, strong, blacked out. They just fit the steering wheel so well. Direct replacement for the standard ones. They're not like stick-on rubbish things. They are solid. You can shift from the very bottom of the paddle, you can shift from the very top. Amazing little mod. I've added the red stop start button. This is another direct replacement to the standard black button. Weird little kind of geeky change, but I love the way it looks. And there's a little silver trim around the outside, which is new as well. Super easy, cheap mods that just transform the inside of the car. And that brings me to the last thing I've done to the inside of this car, and probably my favorite little mod. You know, again, one of the easiest ones, super cheap, but I love it. These red M1, M2 buttons. The M1 and the M2 buttons in an M car, they're the special buttons, make them stand out. These are gloss red, they look so sick. Definitely recommend people do this to their car. I love them, man. They're just like cute little red buttons, they're so good. That's all of the interior mods done, that is it. Let's talk about the mechanical modifications I've done to this car, the performance enhancing modifications I've done to this car. My M4 is now stage 2, which means that it's tuned, so it's got an ECU remap, ups the boost, ups the power, is now running 550 brake horsepower. 550 is pretty much the maximum you can get out of this car without changing the turbos, but to get 550 you have to take the primary cats out, put in some downpipes. The downpipes I've got in this car are from IPE. You can get a whole bunch of different branded kind of downpipes for this car. I don't know what the difference is between them. IPE is a very good, reputable brand, and honestly the way that this car sounds now, I'm super happy with it. And DMS, the guys that did the tune, they also added the GTS software to this car, so the software from the M4 GTS improves the shift speed, so the gear shifts now are rapid. They're quick even before, but when you get the GTS software, it's so much quicker. And it gives you the nice pops and bangs on the overrun. Definitely recommend it. Get it done. So there we go. That is it. That is my M4. That is every single mod I've done to my M4. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure you hit the notification bell. There is a lot of videos coming soon. I'm reviewing an F90 M5. I'm reviewing McLaren 720S. That was weird. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one. Yes.